Hey everyone, Nancy and Tim Danter here. It is not the morning version of the Hair Curler Chronicles.
I don't have my hair in the hair curlers.
No, and there's no Chronicles to talk about, is there? Well, maybe one. Nance, take it away.
So we've been talking about the friend we met on through YouTube University. His channel is Hi Rye. And we are so excited to bring you a quick little interview with this amazing young fella. And his story is just incredible. His channel's really growing and a great success story. So we hope that you'll join us and meet Ryan. I am so excited today. We have Ryan. Are we allowed to say your last name, Ryan?
Sure, yeah.
Ryan Hemsley coming to us from Calgary, Alberta. And this is from the Hi Rye channel that we keep talking about. So excited to have you here today, Ryan. And
Thank you.
we've been following your channel and your success, and with a little bit of envy for sure.
Well, to be honest with you, it started off, I mean, we're big. You hear us talk a lot about the YouTube University and stuff. And we just happened to click on Ryan because of his wonderful thumbnails. And
Yeah, classic.
there's a story behind that, guys, but that's for when you come back and view more videos. I have no idea where I was going with that.
I'll help.
Thanks.
So we saw Ryan and we noticed that his challenge was very
Right,
similar to what we were doing. And then I looked at his date and I'm like, oh my goodness, he started 15 days before us. And then because I'm a numbers person, I look over and I'm like, Tim, either he has way more friends than us, or he's just really darn smart at doing these YouTube videos. So maybe what we could do to start is I really want Ryan to kind of introduce himself, tell us a little bit about your journey, because I love your story about what happened to you in early December and why you started to do this, because it's fabulous. So I'll let Ryan talk now.
So pretty much this spawned, well, I had a pretty good job as a national sales trainer, helping out car dealerships and training salespeople. Pretty good on that front, but COVID kind of restricted my travel. Wasn't able to put any cash in the jeans, essentially. I was kind of winding down, getting down to my last pennies. It was getting to a point where a lot of bills were at risk of not being paid. It was, if you guys were ever to check out my first video, you could almost tell in the look into my face. It was a lot different than the look on my face today. I was borderline down and out. Started this and I thought, I'm almost 30 years old. There's no chance I'm going to be down and out at 30 years old. So started this channel and to better myself. And it's not just about the stocks. And I think that's what is so great about this community and this channel. It doesn't seem to be so focused on this, even though it's what we're talking about. It's not really stock related. It's more like boosting each other 24/7 and encouraging comments and this and that. But it started off with a genuine, real need, and then evolved into something totally different. Gave maybe 3 weeks into it, I realized what I had on my hands, and then the community came around me. They lifted me up, and here we go. The channel's amazing. So I get to connect with a ton of people all over the place. It's great in that sense.
What I like about your philosophy and about what you're all about is that you don't have the disposal. You're not coming from this from the point of having the disposable income to do this. You're finding the money, or you're creating the money through creative ways of doing it.
Yeah.
And it's like that in itself is interesting, and that's the hook to say, well, what's he doing now? How's he doing this? And teaching us I mean, we're all at some point, it doesn't matter what we do, what we make, we're all in this pandemic and we're all feeling it one way or another, right?
Yep.
And maybe to give you a little bit of our background, and what we don't talk about very publicly is that in 2008, when the last big downturn in the market happened, we as small business owners, we were caught up big time, like scary, bite our nails. We had 2 kids. We had it's a long backstory, but suffice it to say, in 2008, worst year ever for us, and we darn near came very close to having to go bankrupt. We didn't. We regrouped, but I ended up having to go and work in a restaurant At 40 years old, I had to go in, and the only job I knew was, I didn't know any jobs, so I ended up being a hostess at Milestones, and it was slightly humiliating, but it was what we needed to do to make money, and that's why we thought your story was so incredible, because you're willing to do what it takes to get by. You don't just go throw your hands up and go, okay, I'm not going to, I don't know what to do, so I won't do anything. And you, but you,
And that's,
I love that about you.
well, that's one thing I'm noticing too. So with the community itself, and I base what I'm about to say on just the fact that I'm talking to people in the comment section. There's hundreds of them, but they're actively, there are lots of people. I think a lot of people are picking up on that, just because there are people who are realizing things that just seem so common sense, but it's like it's clicked for them for some reason, and they're just finding ways to. But that's kind of what this whole thing was about for me. It's I've never been one to, it would have killed me inside if I had to call my mother at 30 years old to borrow rent money. So that wasn't going to happen. So it was, when you're down and out, there's only one way to get back up. And it just, you start with it, you get back up, and you kind of rock and roll. But I think everyone's kind of picking up on that too. It doesn't have to be, I was talking to someone and they were asking me, should I buy $2 of this one share? And I thought, you know what? As stupid as $2 sounds, that's what this whole thing is about. And that person's going to accumulate $10. That'll be 20. That'll be 50, 100. So, and I just thought that's really amazing, because this person's taking a toonie and literally putting it towards something better. Something clicked in their head. So that's why this is totally evolved into something that's like even encouraging me day in and day out, because it's I don't know, we're picking each other up really. So it's great in that sense. I like it.
At what point would you say that you found that it was starting to make more of a difference? I mean, yeah, that you were doing this to, get that second income, or that's, you were trying to create the second,
Mhm.
channel, if you will. But at what point did you say, look, this is more than just this? Like,
It was, getting when I was first going, and for anyone who's seen the series, it's like 18 videos so far. By about video 5-ish, I was starting to get real community feedback. I was starting to notice the same names popping up. It was kind of nice seeing that people were binging and following along. And then right around that period, I don't know what happened. It kind of went from 20 comments to 100 to 300 to 800. But it was right in that kind of transition where I woke up one morning, and because I make a habit, I try to respond to everyone. I'm trying to, at least. It's almost impossible now, but I try to. And I started to feel obligated, like they're relying on me to do this as much as I'm totally relying on them to do what I need to do. And it's just a really amazing circle kind of thing. And I'm just happy that I caught myself in it. But it was the comments that I really started to realize that this is way beyond just me making an extra income. This is, other people are totally changing their lives over this. And people are like, one of the comments that I just cannot forget, but lots of people with single parents with kids, lots of those comments. One comment I can't forget, this guy had a gambling addiction, and he finds this, very bad, but he has been supplementing all of what he would do in gambling to at least, and hold it. And he prefers actually to hold crypto. So, and whatever he wants to do, whatever he's got to do, it seemed to work for that guy. There's people who are, drinking less. I know I'm drinking less, but the amount of people saying, you're helping me quit cigarettes. I don't know how you're doing it. You're helping me quit drinking. It's so not about the stocks anymore, that the channel is way, way more than that. It's more like personal insight. It's really hard to explain, but
no,
it's not, yeah.
Yeah, it's not hard to explain, because I mean, we did a transition from downsizing the home, doing this and that and that and this, because of having the entrepreneurial background and the knocks and the bings and everything we went through. And what we did was we sat down, we did a budget, and what I called a financial diet. And when you put that down, you find what you want versus what you need.
Yeah.
And out of that comes the savings in order to do the investing, because it's never too late.
Oh, people always, and that's another thing. People are always saying, "Hey, Rye, is it too, or hi, Rye, is it too late to hop on the challenge?" No, you don't have to get my stock picks. It's so not about the stocks. This challenge is, I said it's going to be a 1-year challenge. if I feel, if, you know, people are that great after a year, you dang right that it's going to go on for 2 years, 3 years. I don't care how long it goes on. But yeah, as long as people can better themselves in just this little way, it's so easy. But like what you just said, when you identify that budget, it's so obvious what you can do to actively change your life in 2 minutes, and you don't change really too much around the house. Like, it's, you'd be surprised if anyone's out there wants a 10% raise. Go over your budget and shave 10%. You won't even notice it. So
Right.
there's a lot of things to do.
And that's funny because when we went to the bank and I don't know what we were doing. And he says, you want to save more? He says, you got two choices: cut the budget or earn more. Well, at that point in time, we're not earning more. You know, you get caught in the rat race, right? You know,
Yeah.
it's like, well, I guess that kind of explains things, and I guess it's pretty cut and dry what we got to do. And as soon as we did that, and she hated it, like she absolutely hated it, because I would say, is that a want or is that a need? And
But I did
yeah,
it. But I did it.
yeah, it does. It's like a diet. It's that's why we called it a financial diet, because it's the same mentality you have to have, whether it's a food diet, whether it's you stop drinking or you reduce your smoking or whatever the case is. It's your altitude is derived from your attitude.
Well, and
Totally.
you know what, Ryan, it was interesting when we decided to do this challenge. It was, we were driving, we were in the car, we were driving to the cottage, and what we were saying to ourselves was, what we want to do had to do with similar to going on a diet. I was following this gal who was, forget her name, keto something or other, and she did a full 1 year challenge by standing on a scale on January 1st and then watching her whole journey for a year. And so I was following her, watching her videos all year long, thinking, and you could see the progress. And so when we started thinking about doing this, it was sort of similar, and she developed a community of people like you've developed a community of people, and they were spurring her on and she was helping them. And this is no darn different. It's no different than somebody trying to lose weight and they need a community support people around them. And so what you're doing is amazing, and we're so happy to be part of your journey in whatever way, shape, or form. So we kind of thought what might be sort of fun is to maybe have a little contest. Now we are way behind you as far as earning the income, because I'm over here painting furniture and trying to flip it over on Facebook Marketplace and barely making a little bit of money on the side. But I thought, well, what do you think if we kind of create a little bit of a fun
Yeah.
contest?
Or
I'm totally on board. Yeah, that's a wicked way to keep everyone accountable and on track. And I'm totally on board for that. That's going to be fun.
And I think we could do it we'll look at our 365-day journey. And so that it's not, because you're 15 days ahead of us. I'm hoping I can catch up, because I'm hoping I'm going to do all of mine through cryptocurrency more or less than doing stock picks, because I feel that that's going to be so bullish that I'll surpass you on that. It'll take me longer up front, but I think on the back end, it's going to be.
Well, that's another thing too, is in even just connecting right now, I would have never in my entire life debated, I don't care even if Elon Musk bought 20 trillion, I would have never bought crypto in my entire life. But it's learning from each other and stuff like that, because I guarantee you I'm going to get into some form of crypto down the road and feel really good about it. I always felt safer holding the silver aspect of things, but yeah, I see the potential in crypto superseding that, obviously. But yeah, no, I love learning. I'd love to do that challenge. Keep in touch with each other for sure.
Yeah. And I think, and we will find a way over the coming weeks or whatever to figure out a way to engage with the community as a whole, to how they can come on with the challenge. If there's somebody in the community that thinks they can beat either of us, well, maybe we'll have to find a way to have a little wager about it. And it could be something as,
something that we give back to our followers.
Yeah, or
back
a percentage to a charity that we all agree on. Because if we've earned that much, then maybe we could give something back to a charitable communication. It's been a long day. But yeah, no, I thought it'd be really fun, and you know, Tim and I appreciate all of your advice.
You've motivated us.
You've
You've
for sure
motivated us to
motivated
do
us.
this. You've got her sipping the Kool-Aid into this, and that well, where she goes, I go, right? So it's like,
Well,
well, here we go.
I think our thing is we're just really feel stupid at the whole how to do things online. Like we've got this part figured out. We've spent the last 6 months figuring out how that world works. What we're having trouble is figuring out how the YouTube world works. So
I'm learning every day myself. It's not easy, I can tell you that. Every day I get better. So it just tells me that I'm still like the YouTube University concept that you guys have going on right now is probably the smartest thing for people who are trying to grow and start their own thing, because that's all you do. You'll spend 8 hours in front of a TV or a laptop, and and you know what? You could spend 5 hours watching stuff and it will be all trash. And then that one friggin' idea that you hear, that'll just blow your channel up. And that's the time that's required, though, really, to sift through everything and find the good advice. There's a lot out there, but there's a lot of really good advice out there if you can land on the right channels, at least people who genuine people. But there's some good information out there to grow for sure.
Well, and you've got it on the stock end and stuff like that, and I think we're gonna sort of try to replicate the parallel on the crypto side of it. And I think, you know, what we need to do is maybe check in, I don't know, maybe once a week or whatever, and just say, hey, what's going on? What's new? What are you doing? And, you know, have conversations. And I'm sure there's people we can, you know, have interview or, you know, have come on and talk about different aspects. And I don't know where it's going to go, because right now it's just a moving target. It's just a living thing that's just evolving as we go, because, you know, you compare to where you were back in December to now, and it's like, well, I never thought I'd be here doing this. Right.
Yeah, the growth is truly exponential. It's really hard to explain. So when the community starts rallying behind and supporting each other like this, especially with a fun challenge, a crypto versus stocks kind of wager, a playoff kind of thing, it'll be really interesting for sure. So people can totally participate on both my side, your side, and then just expand this community network with everybody. Yeah, the potential is totally endless with it.
Excellent. Well, Ryan, thank you so much for your time today.
Really appreciate
you
it.
are you are an admirable guy, and I have met a lot of people in my career, and I love what you did with self-starting and all that stuff. And so if we can ever help you in any way, because I know you've helped us immensely, and we just so appreciate this, and we look forward to
challenge.
Challenge.
Yep. Well done. We're going to check in. Let's maybe check in next week. And for all of you who are watching, it's his channel is Hi Rye, and he's doing Monday to Friday posts, right?
Yeah, right now. Yeah.
Yep. And well worth the watch. We watch him. So again, thanks, Ryan, and we'll catch up soon.
Thanks, guys.
All right. See ya.
Okay, so we're not in the same clothes as the intro and as the interview, but we just wanted to take a moment to thank you for watching Ryan. Great guy, very passionate. Nance?
This is part 2 of our interview. In order to see part 1, you have to go to the Hi Rye channel, because it's posted on his video. So enjoy.